So this is the first page of the synopsis document. You have to put your title in bold and caps. Then that is the format for the APA document. Then we have to say what type of document it is, research proposal, to whom we are submitting, by whom it is written, who is the supervisor and the center. We have to get this confirmed whether it should be March 2024. In the sample it was July 2021, so it was not very clear what it should be. Then we come to the different sections. We have the introduction section. Then we have the literature review. Then we have research objectives, which can be included in research literature review or kept separate. And then we have the methodology, and then we have the references section to do. Okay, when in the introduction section, we have to make sure that we are talking about what is the problem, what is the intervention, and what in the final statement should be, in the first paragraph should be, what does the study aim to do. That is how the first paragraph typically ends. In my case, it is quantitative and qualitative study of the intervention, how it impacts depression. So this is a typical way of writing in an APA document. Now after that we will also have, you can include some other details. You can include a theoretical framework that you're using. It can be, say, positive psychology, any theory. So you have to mention whose theory and everything. In my case, it was IKS, which is tied to the current research. Need and significance of the study, as we have put in the PPT, we can put here also. Now we will come to how to use citations for how to cite the sources of our data. So wherever data is being used from other sources, there we have to start typing. After the sentence, we will say who is the source. So in this case, it is say Dahiya et al. 2020. So this means that more than 2 authors were involved in the study, and it was done in the year 2020. So this is called in-text citation. This is having three types. One is having more than 2 authors, which we say Dahiya et al. Or first author et al. That author and others with the year. Then you have 2 authors, say example Dahiya and Sen, if we typing. Then we put the year in which the study was published. And then you have single author, so you put that author's last name and the year of the study. So these are the different types of citation that we can use. This is called in-text citation. You also can, you can do 2 authors. If you have more than multiple studies for the same thing, we will separate it with a semicolon, and then we will show them. If it is in a format of initial and first name like B. Vijay Lakshmi, we will use the name Vijay Lakshmi with the year along with it. So that is another way of tackling the issue. Already talked about theoretical framework and significance. Again mention all the sources correctly, or whoever is the author of the theory, all that should be correctly mentioned. Then we come to literature review. In my case, the literature review is divided into 5 sections, so I will be making sections for each. And if you notice, I'm using a study called Shiba et al. So that study was talked about how prevalence of depression. So we will not directly paste anything from the study. We will have to paraphrase, which is write in our own words. So if you can see here, I've written according to the study, 35% or according to the study, women had this propensity to depression during pregnancy. So it is in my own words. So it is called paraphrasing. This is the technique we have to use. No copy paste from any source. So similarly, I'll be doing for the rest of it. I have to make 5 more paragraphs like this, or 5 more sections. Then we come to research gap. This we can take from the PPT, what we have written. We can just copy paste it there because it is our own words already. Then research questions, research problem, research objective, everything we can put it like that itself. Research objective should be using Bloom's taxonomy. So we should ensure that we are using words like to assess, to evaluate, to explore, to understand. So that type of language should be there. When we come to methodology, first we take the sample. So we are saying how the either if you have a number, you put the number, or how the sample will be taken. Then we have the materials and procedures. So we talk about how we are going to proceed with this. So experimental design, qualitative, quantitative. Then they also talk about certain mandatory things like confidentiality and all will be maintained. That thing we have to say. Then what are the tools that we are using? So that we give a brief description about the tools. If it's an interview, we also need to mention the language. If it is local language, then it will be transcribed to English. That we have to mention. Then we come to the selection and inclusion criteria. Selection and inclusion criteria you can include if your report, if your data is like that. So in my case, I will be taking only pregnant women with no other health issues. I want to take that, or no other known health issues. So that will, and who are coming in a 30-day period, and the location also we can specify. So for me, that will be the inclusion criteria. If you are doing in multi-location, you can put that as your criteria as well. If it is exclusion criteria, to avoid any of those confounding variables, uncontrollable variables, we can always put. So in my case, health issues will hamper the connection to depression and pregnancy, so I will not be including people with existing health issues or risk of health issues. Then we come to the sampling technique. So you have to check which is working for you. For me, it is convenience sampling due to the nature of the data collection. Then variables, so for me, anxiety, depression are dependent, intervention is independent. We have to write a little bit about all that. Again, we have to give the proper sources for that. Then we talk about the procedure. So I had given a proposed procedure, how we can carry it out. So that I have just included here. If you have not given, it is not needed. You can work on it with your guide. Then we talk about data collection. So for me, there will be a pre-test, post-test, so 2 times data will be collected. And analysis, I have just gathered from what I have studied. And it might get changed by the guide depending on what is most suitable. And after that, we will come to the references section. If it is multiple authors, more than 2 authors, this is a format. We have to use the last name, initial, and put a dot, then next person's last name, initial, and then the last name is separated by a ampersand symbol. We take the year and month of publication, the title, the entire title we have to take, which journal it was published, what was the volume number, what is the issue number, what is the page number in that journal, and the DOI. Now to get all this information is generally there in the journal or the article itself. So if you look at the web page, it will be there on top. What is the journal, what is the volume, what is when it was published. Then you can always take the title and the authorship from the there. If it's a PDF, again it will be on the top or any one of the sides or at the bottom. You'll get all the details. So with journal, volume, date, page numbers you can go and see from the bottom of the page itself. So in this case, it starts from 840 and then it will end in 851. So this is how we get all the data for citation to create the references. The DOI is the unique identification number. Then if it's a book, we give the author with the date of publication, name of the book, and then who published it, and ISBN being the unique identity we put. We can also include video sources. So we put, if it's YouTube, we put the channel name. Then we'll put the year and date of publication. We also put the title. We have to notify it is a video, and from the source of the video we have to do like that. So if it is 2 authors, then we just have to add the ampersand symbol, and we will say last name, comma, first name, initial, and continue like that. So this was the way to create it.